Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Debate Aya program, and I'm your host Tariq Khan. Viewers, today will explore and analyze the relevance of Latin America in a current global context. What opportunities Latin America offer to today's world, and what is the linkage between Latin America and Asia? What potential and strategic resources exist and offered by this region. So to explore and analyze these questions, Mr. Gonzalo has joined us from Argentina, Latin America. You are International Relations Manager at AySA and practitioner in international relations. So Mr. Gonzalo, thank you so much for appearing in Debate Here program, and you are most welcome.
Hello Tariq, nice to meet you. I am very glad to be with you today. Thank you very much for calling me for this interview.
Sir, how would you analyze and explore the relevance of Latin America in a global context?
Well, Latin America is a huge continent. At this moment, we are more than 650 million people living here. So we are a very interesting market, not only to import but to export goods and manufacturers. And as you know, we are 21 countries in which most of them speak Spanish. This is the link between us as a region. The only country that doesn't speak Spanish is Brazil, which is more than 200 million people right now. And IT. The rest of the countries speaks Spanish. It helps us to reach a good understanding between people and organization among the region. It is very important, the region, because we have very large water reserves. We produce food for more than 1,000 million people, so we can feed not only North America but Europe, Asia, Oceania, and other regions on the world. I think it is very interesting place to find out what is happening with climate change, because we are protected by the worst consequences of this issue, as scientists call us every time. We have the best biodiversity worldwide. So in the years to come, I think the world will find in our region a way to reshape the around ecosystems. Due to that, I think Latin America is a very important continent in the world. In fact, too many companies are investing here, are doing research about how to get not only money but other kind of benefits from Latin America. And in the decades to come, we will see that the relevance of the region will grow in the world order, I think.
Sir, what opportunities does Latin America offer to the world today, and what are the strategic resources and potential offered by this region, and what links do you see between Asia and Latin America? How would you analyze this?
Well, as I mentioned before, Latin America is a very big food producer. Our agriculture is well developed, so we are able to offer to the rest of the world not only primary raw materials but manufactured indeed. At this moment, for instance, in Argentina, the country where I live, we are producing food for 400 million people, but if we improve our agriculture technology, if we can do the catch up with what are happening worldwide, we are able to produce more food for more than 1,200 people. So in the future, maybe we are going to feed the rest of the world. In the beginning of last century, Argentina was called the Granero del Mundo, the grainer of the world. So I think in the future we are to recover this role worldwide in the world order. As I told you before as well, we have a very large water resources in the region. The largest water resources worldwide is Brazil. Venezuela, Colombia, and Peru have very large sweet water resources as well. So in a world which is lacking of water, in which too many countries are suffering scarcity, water scarcity, where we are able to offer water not only in a liquid way, but under the methodology of virtual water export, which means that in every manufacturer that we export to the world, we get water. As you know, every product in the world has which we call the water print, the footprint, which means that you need water to produce food. Not only food, but technology devices, homes, clothes, and other things. But when we talk about food, we have to think that too many countries in the world are suffering water scarcity, and due to that, they decided to produce not water intensive manufacture. So in the future, I think Latin America will play a key role in the balance of water consuming worldwide. The other reason that teach us that Latin America will play a key role is that we are a very peaceful place in which every company in the world can do business here without barriers, without any extra challenge to overcome. We have no wars, we have no civil wars among the regions, and investment are very secure because our financial system is well ruled by governments, by central banks. So I think in a very conflicted world regarding, of course, what is happening between Russia and Ukraine and other civil wars among North America, in Mexico, in some part of Central Africa, in Southeast Asia. We are a very peaceful place to develop business. Human capital is very strong in Latin America. Young people are keen of study not only in the region itself but abroad. We have a very huge diaspora currently. Too many people working in Europe, in China, in Japan, in North America. So we are ready to face or to deal with the new challenge of technological world. Regarding to the relation or to the links between Asia and Latin America, well, as you know, we sell a lot of product to China and to import manufacture from China as well. We have a very strong relation between the biggest country in Asia and India as well. We have a barrier a challenge to overcome. The first one is the language, of course, but in the last year we award that too many people in China are speaking English, so it was helpful for us to improve our relationship with them, to increase the volume of interchange with that country. The same happens with India. The distance between Latin America and India and China are getting shorter because the new birth of international commerce, the logistic, in spite of the pandemic, is improving every day. So we have a lot of channels to export our products. In the future, we hope we have the expectation that we not only will sell food but technology as well. We are trying to develop our devices in the technological field, but in healthcare as well, in tech, in telecommunication, and other topics. The Asian, the southeast of Asia, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand are becoming interesting countries for us as well. In the last decades, the links between both regions were getting stronger, and I think both can be not only markets to import and export, but for knowledge interchange. In the last years, diplomacy has done a very good job getting both regions closer than never in history. So we are glad to tell you that at this moment, maybe Southeast Asia is one of the best partners for Latin America. I don't want to forget to mention Singapore as well. That is a very interesting country to not only to learn but to teach things.
Sir, have you used foresight and future scenarios techniques in your work, and what potential does this discipline have for global issues? How do you view this?
Well, in Latin America, future scenarios, foresight are methodologies that are increasing. They are generating expectation between us because we are not accustomed to think in the long term. We are a very short term mindset region. So foresight help us to think 1 decade, 2 decades, 3 decades ahead. It is fruitful for us to discuss in this framework because it allows us to protect our natural resources, to understand the mega trends that are shaping the world, to be ready to deal with the next challenge, for instance, the future of work, new technologies, climate change, terrorism, narco traffic, migrations. They are all global challenges that maybe in the past we were not fond of discuss them or to try to help other countries in the world to overcome these challenges. So in the last year, too many institutions from Europe, specifically, I can mention the Copenhagen Institute of Future, maybe Singularity University from Silicon Valley, brought this kind of technology to our table. We start to apply them in companies, in universities, in research institutes. In my case, I currently work as a foreign affairs manager in AySA, at AySA, that is a huge water utility. Last year we developed, which we call the Future of Water Manual, which is a book of more than 100 pages, which is free to download from internet, which allow us to think how to manage water in the next decades. Foresight, as you know, is complex. It's not easy to understand at the first glance. You have to go deeper into their content to analyze which content are useful and which not for several sectors. In our case, water is a very good place to use foresight because, as you know, and as I mentioned before, in the years to come, we are suffering lack of water in too many regions among Latin America. And in spite, we have a large sweet water reserves. There are regions as the Cordillera, for instance, the north of Brazil, that dia zero, which means that city can go into a lack of water, are becoming more often than before. So foresight, as a conclusion, is a technique, as a scientific technique that allow us to think, to do the future thinking, to take better decisions, to develop better policies, to improve the management in water and minery, in electricity, power, etc.
Sir, what is the objective of the World Institute that you preside over, and would you like to tell us more about your recent work, publications, and research?
Well, during the last year, I have worked hard in a project called Instituto Del Mundo, the World Institute, which is a kind of NGO, which addresses the most global challenges, the urgent challenges, to get better conclusions. We decided 2 years ago to start an interview series conducted by me. I have interviewed more than 60 reference worldwide. The blog is called Desde el Balcón, from the balcony. The name comes because the blog was opened or released during the pandemic, during the first period of the outbreak of COVID-19. At this moment, we started to look for people from different disciplines as medicine, physics, technology, economics, politics, and the results were amazing for us because we found interesting ideas, new perspective, new outlooks regarding to what is happening in the world. The better interviews were published in a book called 40 Voices That Reshapes the World, that was released 1 month ago. We are very glad to the results of the dissemination of the books. We have received congratulations from more than 30 countries at this moment, and we think that is the first book that can explain in Spanish what is happening with global challenges as migrations, climate change, narco-traffic, terrorism, financial technology in financials, global order, and others. So we are very happy to tell you that in the coming future, maybe you, Tariq, are going to be one of our interview, because we know that you are very well known, not only in Pakistan, but in Central Asia and in Asia indeed. So I will be very happy to have you not only in our blog, but on our next book that we expect will be released next year. In the context, in the framework of the Instituto del Mundo, we are going to launch a series of courses, teaching and learning training programs that will help our people, Latin Americans, to understand better how to understand, how to approach the big challenge of the world. So thank you very much for this interview. It was very insightful, not only for me, but for the whole team of the Instituto del Mundo to be able to talk to you. We are at your disposal for whatever you need in Latin America. I repeat that it is a region very, very interesting, open arms to receive new ideas, knowledge, investment, and others. You will find in Instituto del Mundo friends to work together to carry out projects in several disciplines and sectors. So don't hesitate to call me wherever you need a friend from Latin America. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you so much for your valuable, precious analysis and thoughts on Latin America in a current global context. It is a matter of great honor for us to have you in Debate Aya program, as well as we are very happy to know about your work, and would love to be part of your activities and seminars and research and your work to know more about the opportunities and potential of the Latin America region, as well as its linkages with the Asian region. So thank you so much again for joining debate program, and thank you so much again for your appearance in debate program.
Thank you, Tariq. See you soon. Goodbye.